Welcome to the Gray Matters Time Quiz Generator tutorial. Now, the address for the time quiz generator itself will appear on the screen below, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it'll also be in the information box. If you ever wanted to add a feature to your site where you can quiz your visitors on how many things in this category can you name in so many minutes, this will show you how to do it in a very simple way without any programming by just providing the information. To begin with, the time quiz generator, we're going to provide some basic information. Now, our sample quiz is going to be on the names of the 4 famous Beatles. Yes, I know there are other Beatles, but we're just focusing on the 4 famous ones. Beginning with basic information, we'll type in the quiz topic, Beatles, plural. Now, sometimes the quiz topic is needed in a singular form, such as, you have 1 Beatle left to guess. So, just provide the singular version, Beatle. And even though most of us could probably do this quiz in about 4 seconds, I'm going to allow 2 minutes. You can go from anywhere from 1 to 20 minute long quizzes. And you can even do it down to seconds. The seconds are in 15-second increments. I'm just going to select 2 minutes exactly. Now, for each answer you give, there will always be a main answer, and optionally, up to 6 alternatives. We're doing the names of the Beatles here, so I'm going to type in John Lennon, and as an alternative, I'll accept his last name. So, to make sure this goes on the list of answers and alternatives, I just click Add Answer Alternatives to List. If we go down here, notice that it says John Lennon, and in brackets it'll take Lennon as an alternative. You'll also notice down here there's something called edit mode. I'm actually going to make a few mistakes in this tutorial on purpose, just so I can demonstrate edit mode. Now, let's make our first mistake here. I'm going to type in Fred McCartney and accept McCartney as an answer, or McCartnett, there we go, McCartney. Add answer alternatives to list, and it says Fred McCartney, McCartney. But maybe I'm typing these things in too quickly and I don't notice this yet. So I'm just going to do the other names of the Beatles. Ringo Starr with the alternative Starr, and George Harrison with the alternative Harrison. Oh, and a buddy of mine told me a rumor that actually Jennifer Aniston was in the Beatles. So I'll even give her the alternative Aniston, and just so you can see the alternative Jennifer as well. Now in the answer alternatives list, because I provided 2 alternatives for Jennifer Aniston and Jennifer, it has 2 brackets after it. However, I look over that case, maybe do a little more research and say, oh, you know what? I don't think Jennifer Aniston was in the Beatles. So I click Edit Mode, do that checkbox, and you'll notice an arrow appears. I'm going to click the Move Arrow Down button until it points to Jennifer Aniston. I realize that's a wrong answer, and I simply click Delete Answer next to arrow. Your site will ask you if you're sure you want to delete this answer, and we're set. Now the arrow jumps back up to the top automatically. I look over the list and I realize, oh wait, it wasn't Fred McCartney, it was Paul McCartney. So I'm going to click Move Arrow Down, the answer is next to Fred McCartney, but instead of selecting Delete Answer next to arrow, I'm going to click on Edit Answer next to arrow. First, you'll notice where it did say Fred McCartney, it now simply says the word editing. Now, Fred McCartney and its alternative McCartney have actually been put back up by answer and acceptable alternatives. I'm going to highlight Fred, change that to Paul. Everything else looks okay. Paul McCartney, alternative McCartney. So I'm going to click Return Edited Answer / Alternatives to List. You can also cancel if you wish. I look over the list, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, and George Harrison, and everything looks okay. So I'm going to uncheck the edit mode box. Now at this point, you could have a simple quiz all ready to go. And go down here to the quiz code box, simply select Generate Quiz Code, and it provides everything you need. But all this does is quiz them and tell them, hey, you got 1 beetle right, you got 2 beetles right, you got 3 beetles right, or you got 4 beetles right. That's the only feedback this will give. It'll also tell them which ones are missed. But perhaps you want to add a little extra message. Well, you'll notice we skipped over this section, Final Message Options. We're going to go do that right now. Let's say you want to praise them if they get at least 3 of the 4 beetles out. Click Show Primary Message if 0 or more. I want to select 3 or more answers are given. The primary message should be simply something like, wow, you really know your beetles. Know your beetles. Okay. Now, if fewer correct answers are given, normally, again, no other message will show. But you can click that and say, check up on your beetles. No, let's do learn more about the beetles and try again. Now, there are also spaces for links. A primary link here in this highlighted box and a secondary link in this highlighted box. This is where you can go and have them give more information if need be. What I'm going to do is say, wow, you really know your beetles. Let's reward them with the beetles thing. I'll go to YouTube. There we go. This is a YouTube link. They can say, wow, great, cool, you know, you get to watch this Beatles video. Now, maybe you don't want to give a link to the other one, or could do like a Wikipedia link. Something like that. In this case, I'm not going to do any secondary link. But I also don't want them going away from my site to see my reward, so I'm going to click Links Open in New Window. Again, you don't have to do that. You can have the links open in the same window if you wish. Now, for our brand new quiz, we're going to click Generate Quiz Code once again. Now, it doesn't look any different at the beginning, because that's the same, but the code has changed to handle all the new features, including the link to the Beatles video we provided. There we go. Couple things you'll notice inside. You see all these things that say /x6c or /x72. Well, these are hexadecimal codes for the lowercase version of the answers. First, this means that any answers given will first be converted into lowercase. Second, if someone tries to peek at the code to get the answers to your quiz, it won't help because they're automatically obscured. All you have to do now is copy and paste and use this as its own web page as a quiz. Now, if you do want to do it inside your own blog, I suggest doing it as an iframe with a width of 100% and a height of whatever it needs to be. Because that way you can do it on many blogging platforms. I found I had to do it that way, for example, on Blogspot, and many others have told me the same thing. Anyways, hope you find this useful and enjoy the Gray Matters Time Quiz Generator.